Things. It's Thursday thoughts. So I have been thinking about this word should recently. Should. I find it in my vocabulary all the time. We should do this. We should do that. This shouldn't be happening. Things shouldn't be this way. And I find my spirit is upset because I'm so busy defining things that shouldn't be or should be, or he should do that, or she should do this. Um, it just consumes my spirit. And so I decided to look at the word should because I don't want to be a reactive person. I want to learn to flow. We never know what's going to hit us in our life. And we don't know. I mean, this is the weirdest period of time at all. This COVID stuff is just should not be happening. We shouldn't have to face this, but we are. And so, how do we need to look at this? And I thought my life was really full of a lot of flowing, just what's flowing and asking the question, what's God up to? What's God up to? How is he going to turn this situation that doesn't seem like it should be happening into something that brings him glory? How is he going to do that? And to flow not only in my words but in my spirit. My spirit is going, this shouldn't be. And I'm a feisty little one in my heart. And I need to come to the point where I'm flowing with whatever's happening. God's in charge. God can take care of it. God's got a plan. He's going to turn something bad into something good. He always does. That's his way. That's how he does things. If it's not good, God's not done. You've heard me say that many times before. So I wanted to stop and look at the word should in Scripture. Did you know that the first place it mentions should is in Genesis 2, where it says it's not good that a man should be alone? Isn't that interesting? God says in chapter 2, in the garden, it is not good. Something, even in the garden, was not good. We think that the garden is just the perfect place, but something was not good. And so God was going to transform it into something that is good. And that's what he does. That's what God's all about. He's good. And so anything with mankind that's not good, he's going to transform it into something good. So that's the first verse. The last verse that uses the word should is in Revelation. And this was just so opening to me. Let me read this to you. It's Revelation 6:11. It says, then they were each given a white robe. He's talking about the martyrs in heaven. And told to rest a little longer until the number of their fellow servants or martyrs and their brothers should be complete, who were to be killed as they themselves had been killed as martyrs. Should. You know what God is saying here? That some people should die a martyr's death. The should of it, it seems like it shouldn't happen, but God is right there watching it happen, allowing it to happen, and asking these martyrs to wait a little bit longer because more are going to die. And that is a should happen. That just got me thinking. Because I just live in this little Disneyland world where if I'm a Christian, things should flow smoothly. This shouldn't be happening. And I'm such a justice person. I kind of always go, that shouldn't be happening. That's not right. And yet, as I look in Scripture where God has used the word should, it's amazing what he's allowed to should happen. And then we look at Christ. Christ should suffer. Luke 24:26. Was it not necessary that Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory? Should. There's another should. We can sit here and say that shouldn't be. What did Peter say to Jesus? Oh no, Lord, you don't have to suffer. You should not have to do this. But God said, yes, he does have to do this. It's a should in his life. And then in 1 Peter 3:17, it says, we are going to suffer because if that's God's will, we will suffer. we just really need to think about the shoulds in our life. Next time you say the word should, I think you'll think a second time. Jesus was even treated with contempt. Treated with contempt. That he should suffer many things and be treated with contempt. So what do we do during this time of, oh my goodness, I don't understand the shoulds and the shouldn'ts? What do we do? Well, I just say we love. We love. And what does that look like? Well, it looks like, I think, controlling our mouth. If we're constantly negative in every conversation, that's not loving. Because the other person isn't coming first. The cause or the problem is coming first. So love. So before you open your mouth, before I open my mouth, and I'm preaching to the choir here, I need to think, how should I love? How should I love? 1 John 3:11, he tells us that we should love one another. So that's our should. That's the focus of our shoulds. And I just love that. But it's a challenge that I'm not very good at. So I really need to work on it. So call me on it. If you've talked to me and I'm negative, call me on it. I want to love first. That's my goal. And should or shouldn't, that's not mine to handle. That's God's and mine to pray about. So hopefully this has been food for thought for you on Thursday Thoughts. God's blessings. See you next week. Oh, can you believe we did Thursday Thoughts on Thursday this week? Good for us. Bye-bye.